Greetings, fellow Imperials. Welcome to EVE Universe Show. A little bit early. Sorry. Didn't mean to cut that off. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. It is May 21st, YC126, and this is the EVE Universe Show. Okay, so apparently when I accidentally right-click in the right spot, it accidentally... I moved my mouse to prepare, and then I accidentally hit the right mouse button, and it just did the EVE Universe open. So I apologize. I know a lot of you love the Wrecking Machine. I cut it off. That's blasphemy. But we'll hear it at the end of the show too. So, 07 guys, how's it going? The normal professional quality streams that you expect from someone as myself. Like the stream if you like this shot. I did spend some time, as I usually do, finding a good shot to look at while we wait for the stream to start. This is outside of the Sisters of Eve station, or the Sisters of Eve Epic Arc starting station of Arnon. Just thought it'd be a cool little shot. If we do finish the news today, then we will spend time. Hey, Bread with 5 gifted memberships to Pekamix, Ikawarzu-chan, Aaron, and Grimain666, and Oridin Royce. Thank you on their behalf and on my behalf. Bread, how are you giving away memberships without having one of your own? That's what I'm curious about. What's going on with that? But thank you very much. That's very cool of you. Oh, I didn't even post the going live. Oh my God. This morning, man, this morning has been like, well, actually this morning hasn't been that bad. It's just the last 10 minutes. Like I zoned out for a second. Oh, all right. Well, whatever. We have news though. We have a lot of good news. We have my entire stream got changed. I made the thumbnail for the stream, and then before I could upload it, they changed the entire topic of the stream today. We did get the dev blog about the SKINR system, so we will be looking at that as well as some other things. And if we have time left over, then we will continue with the SOE Epic Arc from last time. So, but without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the news. Oh, yeah, make sure to like this channel, like the stream, subscribe. I appreciate it. Thank you to all my supporters, etc., etc. All of the stuff I'm supposed to do at the beginning of this stream. How you guys doing? I've completely forgotten how to run these streams. I just want to talk about stuff. Can we just talk about stuff? I just want to talk about stuff. So let's go ahead and start talking about First Strike. First Strike Vanguard playtest, the final, thank you very much, Fred. The final playtest for this phase of Vanguard is this weekend, guys. So this weekend is the First Strike playtest on the 23rd to the 27th. The next monthly deployment of War Clones is almost here, and the Legions of Vanguard will soon be let loose for another trial of ground combat. As previous First Strike events, this playtest is open to all Omegas as part of Founders Access. This will be a last chance to play the current map for a while, as the new one is coming in June. Okay, so they're going to stop using this map to start using the new map in June. That's actually kind of disappointing. I'd like to see it where it's like a bit of a mix-up, like so you have both, but whatever. So jump in and conquer it during the May event while the opportunity exists. The next First Strike event takes place between the 12 UTC on the 23rd of May and 12 UTC on the 27th of May. E-Vanguard is a uniquely collaborative effort, our founders being instrumental, blah, blah, blah. How to become a member. Okay, so you have to have Omega status on the weekend that they have the game, just like always. And just like always, they have actually added in a War Clone Omega bundle. So for $10, you get 14 days of Omega and the Naglfar skin, right? However, if you don't want to do that, you can always go in-game to the Nest store. And here is the War Clone Omega bundle in-game for 250 plex. So basically, for half the price of a normal Omega month, you get 14 days, which is, of course, one less than half. But you also get this awesome Arcambine Arisen Naglfar Fleet Issue skin. So cool, 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 cool. There's that. As Vanguard, you will have an impact on the ongoing war in New Eden and rewarded for your contributions. As in previous First Strike events, there are exciting challenges to face. War clones will receive the Burst Arcombine Arisen skin for acquiring 10 clones, exchanging biomass for additional clones at recloning stations. This challenge can be achieved by individuals or squad members, but as all clones required in a squad counts towards the progress for all members, it will be significantly easier to achieve with others. So for those of you who have not done Vanguard yet, basically every NPC or player, every kill that you get, every person who dies, on their corpse will be some biomass. And when you collect, I think it's 20 biomass. And when you collect, you can use that biomass to heal yourself. Or if you get enough of it, you can then turn it into a clone bank in order to get an extra life. So that way, if anybody on your squad dies, they can reclone back in. Okay, so it's a big piece of like the long-term like squad-based play of the Vanguard fights. And so I see this as being relatively easy to get for anybody who's playing it for a while, right? Or for any length of time, right? Like 5 or 6 games, semi-successful, you should be able to start knocking out these. We very often in our group were maxing out our clones to the point where we were having to like die in order to enter in new clones. And then you will receive a Scythe Fleet issue Arcombine Arisen skin for individually harvesting 750 units of inert alloy and 250 units of reactive alloy. This I like a lot less. This is the exact thing that was bothering me the last time. I think it's less than last time. Oh, now I want to know. Hold on. Is there a... Vanguard. It was March, I want to say. Oh no, that's the results. Yeah, 2,000 units of ore. So previously it was 2,000 units of ore total, but like there's no counter in game at all for it. So now the requirement is much lower. If you remember correctly, when they did this, so few people managed to acquire... Shit. Hold on. When they did this May playtest, March playtest, when they did the March playtest, so few people got the 2,000 units of ore that they retroactively went back and cut the requirement in half to get the Osprey Navy issue. So in the same way, like this is 750 units and 250 units. So it's the same amount of ore as what eventually became the requirement for March. So this isn't great as far as I'm concerned, just because it's going to be so hard to keep track of whether or not you've mined enough. But whatever. At least we now have a little bit more information. I assume that by individually harvesting, we mean picking up, not shooting the laser, because like you don't actually know what alloy it is until you pick it up. So yeah. And then reaching the top 10 of the contracts completed leaderboard will reward you with Wealth of Plex, same as always. And then finishing the challenge of acquiring 10 clones will contribute to the reward track that has been ongoing since the December event. With those who finish 4 of our 6 challenges receiving a sleek new Eating Calm gun skin, as these new cosmetic updates make their first appearances in the next major update for Vanguard coming in June. So remember, in June, we're also getting a lot more loadout customization, weapon customization, and whatnot. And it appears that skins are part of that. So here is the new Eating Calm gun. But while it doesn't say it in the mail, it does say it doesn't say it in the dev blog. There was an email that was put out to everyone involving Vanguard that showed off another new gun, which is for anybody who played in the December playtest, which was the first playtest last year. If you played then you get this Arcombine Arisen or Arcombine skin for the rifle. And otherwise, this is the new default skin for the rifle. Now, I think that this is the original rifle. I don't know if there's still going to be another weapon that's added, and while it does look like they're different, if you look at the details very closely, these are in fact just skins. You see the same little bars here, the little boxes up there, and the lines there, and the boxes there. And you can see that they're present both here and on the Edencom one. So these are 3 skins for the same gun. But yeah, so this is the last one on the old map with the 1 gun and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be the same basic setup as last time. But this time we get the burst and the Scythe Fleet issue, and it starts out on the 23rd, right? Yeah, the 23rd. So that's it for Vanguard. I guess let me know if you're interested in Vanguard, if you're going to be doing Vanguard, what your thoughts of previous playtests are. You know, go ahead and let me know all that stuff down below. I love to hear what people think about this stuff because that informs what I talk about, right? And how I talk about it. You know, obviously I have my own opinions, but I always, if you have a difference in my opinion, you can come and talk to me about it and you can tell me how you feel about it and I will listen to you and I will say, at least I know some people who say this, right? You'll hear me say that all the time. I'll be like, well, I know people that do da, 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 da. It's because people talk to me about this stuff. So I'm interested in hearing your reasoning. Are you enjoying it? Are you not enjoying it? What do you like? What do you not like? And why? All right. So next, I do want to talk before we jump too big into the main topic of the day. I do want to talk about a little bit of a PSA. This was on Reddit. I can't remember who originally posted it on Reddit right off the top of my head. But they were posting about the fact that there are honeypot structures in HiSec. So this is something to keep an eye out for anyone who is doing stuff in structures in HiSec. But here is a good example of this. Okay, so this is the Corp Eros Ho, right? And this group seems to be losing a lot of structures. And they're kind of losing all of those structures to the same people. Well, if you dig into this, you can see that it's very, very almost certainly likely that the owner of these structures are the same people that are killing the structures. So what's happening here? Well, the thing is that asset safety stops if a structure is abandoned. If all of its services are shut off for 7 days, at the end of that 7 days, the structure becomes abandoned and all asset safety is shut off, which means that anything that's inside of it, rather than going into asset safety, as many people would expect, it instead drops into a can around the wreck of the structure when the structure is destroyed. So what we see here is a group that is anchoring structures in HiSec, making them freeport, waiting some time, and then basically pulling the fuel and blowing up their own structure, allowing them to loot anything that was left inside by anybody who left stuff there and then forgot to get it and didn't get the notification that was about to go abandoned. So it's a pretty scummy thing to do, but it's absolutely an Eve thing to do. This is, don't complain about it. Don't, it's not a bug. It's not a mistake. This is the risk that you take when you operate in player structures. So just remember, do not store your stuff in player structures if you're going away from the game long term, because you may be only given 48 hours worth of warning to get stuff out. And do not leave things in player structures that you don't have control over in some way, shape, or form. Or at least if you do, it's at your own risk. Just realize that it is at your own risk and be careful about it, right? NPC structures are, as of right now, completely safe, but player structures are absolutely at the discretion of the player group owning it. So be advised, beware, and don't fall into this trap. All right, guys. I tend to not use player structures anymore since the clones and station changes were made. Yeah, that's true. Things in asset safety are not in structures. First of all, if you got them into asset safety in nullsec, they're probably now in lowsec. And the stuff in asset safety are in structures that cannot be destroyed as of right now. I say as of right now, not that I'm thinking that there will be a change to that. That'd be a pretty monumental change. But, you know, I'm not going to say that they'll never do it either. All right, so, but let's get into the big news of the day. personalized ship skins. Now, as they have with previous expansions, we're doing different focus blogs every week, with this week being personalized ship skins. We still have next week, which I think is going to probably be about the Vanguard June playtest. And then the week after, which I suspect might be things like the little things or other miscellaneous stuff that's coming with the expansion. And then we're done. Then it's time for the expansion. So this is the big one for me, at least. I'm very, very excited about this. Once again, as per most of these dev blogs, most of the good information is in the video itself. So let's go ahead and watch the video first, and then we will pick through it. We'll just watch the video in full.
With the Equinox expansion, we're extending the SKINR tool to ships, empowering you to fly your true colors, express your identity, and unleashing your creativity through the design of personalized ship skins.
Yeah, I got rid of all of the other news first, Solstice. I like to give people time to show up and hang and sit in. Yeah, exactly, Solstice. You are the reason why I did that. Specifically. Just you. Thanks, Solstice.
Ships, empowering you to fly your true colors, express your identity, and unleashing your creativity through the design of personalized ship skins. SKINR also offers the ability to sequence and activate the skin licenses to adorn your own ships or to strengthen the collective identity of your corporation or fleet. In addition, the enterprising pilot can even turn a profit by selling the skins in the Paragon hub. SKINR for Ships opens a variety of new career opportunities for capsuleers. You can make a name for yourself as an artist, or you can specialize in creating a cohesive look for your corporation. SKINR also presents opportunities to generate a new income stream by either selling your masterpieces or by specializing in seeking out and selling design elements. SKINR is a robust tool that puts the control in your hands, empowers you to tailor your experience to your individual desires, and gives you more diverse ways to express yourself. With design elements being a key part of the design process, a new ecosystem and opportunities for rare and valuable skins are created. We are excited to see an explosion of variety in skins, as SKINR will truly empower you to craft your unique identity and make each ship a statement of expression. The new SKINR interface introduces a robust palette of design elements required to design the skins. These consist of basic and metallic nanocoatings in a variety of colors, as well as patterns. Each skin design offers 5 customization slots, 4 for nanocoatings and 1 for patterns. The design studio offers unprecedented customization and creativity, as you can move, rotate, and resize the patterns around the hull, and then apply a nanocoating or a metallic to it. This lets you create a variety of unique and distinctive designs. Paragon will supply all capsuleers with a starting library of nanocoatings and patterns, but more can be acquired through the new Paragon hub, on the market, and around New Eden through event rewards, aired daily goals, loot, and more. Design elements need to be activated and can either be unlimited or limited use. Some design elements will only be dropped in limited quantities and on limited occasions, which presents opportunities to acquire and sell them, as well as create rare and desirable skins that could fetch a hefty price in the Paragon hub. You can design for almost any ship in EVE, apart from Tech 3 ships, special edition ships, and the capsule. You can save up to 5 designs at any given time to come back to and sequence later, with the ability to save more designs coming in the future. You can also give your designs a name and add them to a unique skin line. Now that you have created your masterpieces, it's time to see them in action, which requires you to sequence the design into a skin license. You can either sequence one skin at a time, or in bulk if you have the skills. To sequence skins for all hulls, you need to have Omega clone status, as alpha clones are limited to sequencing for alpha pilotable hulls. The best way to think about it is, if you can fly the ship, then you can sequence a skin for it. If a design utilizes unlimited use design elements, you will also need sequence binders to sequence the skin. Paragon provides a certain quantity to get you started, but more can be bought on the market, acquired through events, and as loot. The sequencing cost is based on a tier system, using Plex as the primary currency, and is based on the rarity and quantity of design elements used. The sequencing time is influenced by the tier of the skin, as well as your skill level, so you may want to train up those skills. When the skin is ready, it will be added to your collection from the queue. You can then either activate it for your own ship or sell it in the Paragon Hub. The Paragon Hub is an essential part of the SKINR experience, providing a platform where you can showcase your designs or find the ideal look for your fleet. It offers an easy to navigate interface and opportunities for designers to make a name for themselves, not to mention untold riches. Here you can buy design elements and trade skins for either Plex or ISK based on the seller's preference. When listing a skin for sale, you choose the currency and decide the length of listing, which determines the basis for the SKINR service fee and hub listing costs. We're also introducing a new collection to easily maintain an overview of design elements and skins that you own. The collection also features new skin icons, each displaying the ship adorned with the skin, allowing you to fully appreciate your collection. Here you can navigate your collection to seek inspiration for your next designs as you browse your skin elements or seamlessly find the right skin for an upcoming adventure. This is the first iteration of SKINR for ships. We're very excited to build on it in the upcoming releases and expansions. We already have plans to add a share design functionality, more features tailored towards groups and corporations, as well as adding a ton new design elements and even new categories for them. I think one of the things that players will enjoy the most about this is just being able to create an identity for themselves, create custom ship skins that really empower them to show who they are while flying around New Eden. A cool new thing that we're allowing players to do is to sell their own skins for Plex. It's a great way to make a lot of money in New Eden, and I'm pretty excited about it because hopefully I can make a lot of money as well.
All right. So lots of things to unpack here. I just want to address a couple of things that are said right away. This sounds like the T1 ship skin market will be worthless. I don't know about that. And also, there won't be anything preventing people from recreating other people's skins and selling them for cheaper. Except, so the base loadout of materials and stuff, yeah, obviously. But if you, like, they're saying that a lot of the design elements have to be gone out and go and get, right? So anybody who is trying to, like, if I create something using a design element that other people don't have, then it'd be difficult for people to recreate it. Not that much punch. We just played the video for the SKINR system yet so far. So let's go ahead and dig into the details. The first major expansion of 2024, June 11th. With the Equinox expansion, the SKINR tool will be extended to ships, empowering you to fly your true colors. The possibilities are vast, adorning your own ships with strengthening collective identity. Blah, blah, blah. When Equinox and SKINR for ships launch on 11th of June, there will be a daily login gift for 7 days offering amazing design elements to fuel your creations and sequence binders to help you get started in producing skins. Don't miss the opportunities to get a head start on your taking your EVE experience to a new creative level. So the first piece of this is that there are these skin binders, right? Sequence binders that are going to be necessary. One of the things that we learned about in this video that wasn't talked about in the previous videos was the idea that, like, in the previous videos, it made it sound like you could just use your own skin. And then if you wanted to give it to somebody else or sell it, then you would have to sequence it. But it sounds like you will have to sequence it. Like, you basically will be able to have 5 like setups pre-built, and then you have to then sequence those. Now, whether or not you need to sequence each individual skin license, or if you just sequence one thing that you can then print out multiple of, that's one of the questions I don't really know right now, although they did say sequencing in bulk. So I don't know how the sequencing in bulk is going to go when it comes to, like, the cost of things. And we'll look at that when we look at the cost of things, because there's another piece to this that a lot of people I don't think are necessarily catching, but we'll see. The new SKINR interface introduces a robust palette of design elements for your custom creations. These consist of basic and metallic nano coatings in a wide variety of colors, as well as a selection of overlay patterns. Each skin design consists of 5 customization slots, 4 for nano coatings, colors are basically, and 1 for patterns. SKINR for ships can be found through the Neocom, blah, blah, blah. Unprecedented customization, able to move, rotate, and resize patterns around the hull. By the way, they didn't really show that very well in this video, but to show it a little bit in this Pulse video, they talked about it. So you can see as they're, because because they have it anchored to orbital, as they move the ship, the pattern doesn't move, but the ship does. So they rotate around and the location of the pattern on the ship changes. And then when they click the button, it locks the ship in place and makes it so that they can change the skin, and then they rotate the skin itself without rotating, or like move the skin itself without rotating the ship. So that's the kind of customization that we're looking for. On top of, whoops, where are we? Yeah. So you'll be able to move, rotate, and resize patterns around the hull and apply different colors for separate sections of the ship, meaning that the smallest of variations applied through these tools will result in different fascinating outcomes and designs. Paragon will supply all capsuleers with a starting library of nano coatings and patterns, with more available through the Paragon Hub, on the market, and around New Eden through events, rewards, daily goals, loot, and more. So that's a big piece of it, right? So now, as an organization, we're going to want to, or as an individual, either way, we're going to want to go after specific missions, specific challenges, specific events, whatever it is, so that way we can get our hands on these design elements, right? Like in the same way that you collected skins before, you now collect the pieces to build whatever skin you want. So that's where it comes in, right? If you get a piece from an event, that means you can, like right now, right? I do the Capsuleer Day event, right? And I get the Capsuleer Day event skins, and that's cool for me. But now they're going to be like, okay, well, you've completed the track, so you get the new the conscious thought decal thing that you can brand onto your ships. So now I can use that on future skins. People that didn't do this event don't get that thing. So they don't get to make skins like that. If you want to get that skin, or any skin that uses that design element, you have to get it from somebody, or somebody has to sequence it that already has that element. That's a big piece to this whole, like, oh, well, what if people just recreate it? The track is kind of annoying to finish, not going to lie. Well, I mean, that's a separate issue, I guess. I'm just using it as an example. Presenting opportunities for enterprising pilots to acquire and sell them for a healthy profit, or create rare or desirable skins that may fetch an even more handsome price on the Paragon Hub. Designs can be given unique names. Using SKINR budding designers will be able to craft their own skins for almost any ship in EVE, except for the Capsule, Tech 3, and Special Edition ships. Kind of disappointing, but I understand. Tech 3 is by far the most complicated visually of all of them to operate. It was they were the last ones to get skins, and if you notice, there aren't very many fancy skins for T3 ships. They are a giant pain in the ass to work with in the back end when it comes to the design, like the graphics and stuff, because they change. But the special edition ship is kind of disappointing. It makes me wonder, because like what this means is I think that means things like the Marshal might not be able to get a skin. It is kind of an NFT. I imagine that T3 ships will be added eventually once they get it sorted. But it took over a year, I think, from the first skins. It took multiple years, I'm pretty sure, from the first skin system to when T3 cruisers got it. But as they said, up to 5 designs can be saved at a time for modification or sequencing later, with the ability to save more designs coming in the future. This is super pretty. But here is our first clue as to what's going on, okay? I'm going to open it up so that way I can read it a little bit better. So here we see that this color is going into this cur, which is 150. And the pattern is here with an alignment of 1200 and a fermiotic sequencer to add the gold to the item. But the bottom line is that the fermiotic sequencer is 900 sequence binders, the Cur sequencer is 150 binders, the alignment sequencer is 1,200 binders, for a total plex cost of 110 plex. And this is the other piece to this, which is that if I wanted to print these things out, right, do I have to pay 110 plex every single time, or the binders rather, every single time I want to make one of these skins, or do I bind it once and then print it out over and over and over again? That's what I don't know yet. But you know, even trying to recreate the basic skins likely will have some kind of cost to it, depending on what colors you're adding to it or whatever, or what you're doing to it. So it's not like you're going to just be able to create a skin and then like that's sold by CCP and then you just get to have it for free, right? Like, so we don't have all of the details, and there is a couple of things that are confusing in a few minutes, which is once the design is ready, it must be sequenced into a skin license to be applied to a ship. Each sequence has a certain cost based on a tier system using Plex as the primary currency. The sequence cost is based on the rarity and quantity of design elements used, and the sequencing time is based on the skin tier and skill level. Specific skills will be introduced with the new skill books with Equinox to allow bulk and faster sequencing, so training may be in order. Before design elements can be used... Okay, here we go. This is the part that confuses me. So this is not the sequencer, this is now design elements, okay? Before design elements can be used in the SKINR, they need to be activated. Some are limited to a certain number of usages, while others can be used an unlimited number of times. But keep in mind that sequence binders are required when sequencing skins that use unlimited design elements. So, what this means is that this design element here, right, the pattern that's being used, see how it's an infinite use? There's a little infinity symbol next to it. That's why it's taking all these sequence binders, right? So if I go out and I find a mission, like let's say I do or not a mission, but like let's do an event, you know, or if I do air career paths and I open up a air career box and I get a rare limited use sequence effect, right? So it can only be used 10 times, let's say, right? So now I can make 10 skins with that element in it. And I don't need to use sequencers in order to do it because it's a limited use thing. It's only if the element that's being used has unlimited uses do you require these additional sequencers. Okay? Which, of course, almost all of the base colors are going to have those sequencers. So while it probably won't cost 110 plex because this has the fancy gold, there will be some cost associated with even the more basic, like, recolors. In fact, here... Oh, no, this one has a pattern, too. We can see here that this has a fermionic sequencer of the opalescent, like... So this has 4 different skin colors. It has, like, this shiny purple, the shiny blue, the teal, and the black. The blue, the teal, and the black is all going into the Kerr unit, while the base coat is going into the fermionic. The base coat is this purple, and it's worth 1,800 binders. These 3 colors are together are worth 2,700 binders, and this alignment, the alignment for the effect is 1,200. Which, if you look at this actual skin, like, I don't know what this pattern is doing. I think that they're spending money they don't need to spend here. Oh my god, look at how little it changes. Wait, hold on. Wait, did they just change? Wait, what are they clicking? Hold on. What did they click? Oh no, they just click start sequence. Nope. Hold on. Okay. Never mind, that was just a flash of light. So yeah. And of course, my question still remains, once you're done sequencing, do you end up with a one-time use skin? Or can you make as many copies of that skin now that you've sequenced it? That's the big question for me. How much to go full matte black everything? I'm not sure. Before design... sequencing skins for different hulls is linked to clone status, meaning that alpha clones are limited to alpha pilotable hulls, while omegas can sequence for all ships. In simpler terms, well, all ships except for the ones that can't be done. Once a skin is ready, it will be added to a new collection where you can activate it for your own ship or sell it through the Paragon hub. This is one of the things that I am kind of weirded out about, because, like, I have 1,000 skins. Based on that, like, the browser, like, I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to look through my stuff and find the one I want. But here we go. We see this right here. So this gives us a lot of information, right? So we have these different brands, right? And they have different symbols on it, okay? We have 2 dots here, 3 dots here, 4 dots up here, right? And we see that, although at this time, all of them... Yeah, so the 3 dots are worth 35 plex, and the 2 dots are worth 25 plex. Whereas up here, the 3 dots is worth 15 plex, because it's the metallic, the nano coating. So the nano coating is a little bit cheaper than the metallics, but it's 15 plex for a 3 dot and a 25 plex for a fancy 4 dot. Okay? And in fact, actually, if we go to Hobo Leaks, nope. Yeah. So when we look at the Hobo Leaks, we see sequence binders: standard, advanced, elite, superior, stellar, and Empyrean. Not sure if this is what's based on that, and these names could be changed, because that could very well be the other binders that we were looking at. Is it one skin for all ships or a skin for a specific ship? That's another one that we're not 100% sure. I mean, like, it seems like you're sequencing it for a specific ship. It is 1245, so go back to project now. Look it up, it's 135. Wait, what? Well, I think these are permanent skin licenses that you're publishing. 07 Ragtag. An integral part of the SKINR experience is the Paragon hub, providing... Oh, wait, hold on. We were supposed to look closer at this. So we see Argon Heat Gloss, Argon Heat Matte, Argon Heat Skin, or Satin. So Argon Heat, this purple, is a premium high-tier skin, with this Midnight Gloss, Matte, etc. being a lower tier. Now, why these say 3 versus... Why do these all say 3? Not sure. Also, in the bottom, we see 75 plex for this pattern here. So here's all of his nano coatings. We see Phantom Rose. So all the 2 stars are 10 plex. What is this? That's a 5-star is a 35 plex. Uncompromising Scarlet, which also, if you notice, all of these other basic ones, hold on. All these other basic ones have matte and satin, or at least many of them do. Dark Abyss, matte, satin. Some of them don't, though. Kali After Dark. Yeah, so this very special Crimson one doesn't have, or at least this person doesn't have, do we have a 1 dot? Is there anything cheaper? So the 2 dots are 10. 3 dots are 15. 5 dots is 35. Do we have any 1 dots? Do we see anything smaller than 2 dot? I don't see anything. I think 2 dot is the smallest so far. Hey! Lots of options, though. An integral part of the SKINR experience is the Paragon hub, providing platforms to showcase designs and find the ideal look for your fleet. The interface is easy to navigate, and the hub provides opportunities for budding designers to make a name for themselves, not to mention untold riches. As well as being a venue to buy design elements, the Paragon hub allows skin sellers to list their creations for sale and choose either Plex or ISK as their currency, as well as the length of listing, which determines the basis for the SKINR service fee and the hub listing costs. This is kind of weird. Like, basically, you could say, okay, well... wait, is this how, is this how HyperNet works? Isn't that how HyperNet works? That you could say that you want to cost in Plex? So, you know, obviously, like, there's an exchange rate between Plex and ISK, but this is saying that, like, you can say, okay, well, I will sell this to you for $1 million, you know, like 10 million ISK or whatever. Or you could say, I'm going to sell it to you for 2 Plex. And then the person has to have the Plex in order to do it. So you can either deal in Plex or you can deal in ISK in order to, you know, trade, buy, and sell these skins. And they say that the basis is Plex, but, like, I'm not 100% sure if you have the sequencers, whether or not you still need the Plex. I'm thinking that the Plex is a stand-in for the sequencers. That's the way they kind of talk about it, right? That the economics of it is based on Plex. Maybe you could just... I imagine you'll be able to just buy sequencers for Plex, so that's where it comes from. So if you need to buy sequencers, you'll just get it with Plex, unless you can get them through Air Career Agents or Air Career Path or something. At launch, the Paragon Hub will only contain sequence player-made skins, while Prime CCP-made skins will continue to be available through the New Eden Store and the Eve Store. Prime skins will also feature patterns, effects, and colors that are not available through SKINR, so the increased creativity afforded by SKINR will dovetail with the continuing presence of stunning Prime skin offerings in New Eden. So, skins that you have purchased from CCP are now known as Prime skins, and those remain exactly the same as they were before, and now you can have player-made sequenced skins as an alternative. So I'm sure some of the, like, basic Prime skins, like Rada Sunset, for example, will be pretty easy to recreate in the SKINR system, but others, like Casino Clash, will be impossible. So, I personally will go... I'm going to keep on saying that what I would like to see is, as I have my skins unlocked, it also gives me pieces that I can use in SKINR, just so I don't feel like I have, you know, 1,100 useless skins now. It'd be nice if I had some extra colors or, you know, symbols or whatever, patterns that I get because I had those skins. It'd be a nice thing. Obviously, you know, not necessary, and it doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, but I am going to ask for it. It also means that CCP is going to have to up their game on what Prime skins are capable of, obviously. And a lot of that's going to be effects. And that's a big piece of this, because they're saying, like, oh yeah, we're going to add different categories of things that you can do. Remember, there's still a whole bunch of things with, like, holograms and other, like, particle effects and other effects like that they aren't even adding in yet, right? And this is also separate from your decals and other stuff like that you're getting from Paragon. So, you know, on the one hand, this is a huge piece of ship customization. On the other hand, it is just one of the pieces for how we assemble together really cool-looking ships in the future. So, as of right now, it looks like the only real additional doodads you add to it is, like, an extra pattern projected against it, as opposed to extra particle effects. Particle effects are historically been, like, very specific to the ships and have all kinds of little problems. So I imagine it'll be very challenging for them to just make those available on the SKINR, but I do hope they do that sooner rather than later. A new collection interface is also being introduced, which will allow giving you a comprehensive overview of the sequence skins and design elements you own. This also features new skin icons, each displaying the skin adorning, blah, 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 blah. We've already looked at that, or we already saw that. SKINR for ships launches with the Equinox expansion. First iteration. Upcoming releases. More features tailored to groups and corporations, as well as many more design elements and options. It'd be really cool if, like, if we just have to sequence it once and I can make as many copies as I want, then great. If I have to sequence it every single time, what I'd like to see is making an alliance pattern that anyone can sequence, anybody in the alliance can sequence their own copy if they need to. Yeah, so, and then tomorrow, no, sorry. 2 days from now? Is that right? Thursday, we're going to get a live stream. So after this live stream, we will, of course, have an episode of EVE Universe Show, or should. So we'll be going over all of those details to anything that we've learned or whatnot, because we still are speculating quite a bit in this presentation, obviously. This is the... so, as a person who's been playing this game for a long time, I appreciate this, but maybe some people won't. But, like, there was once upon a time that the idea of a pink skin was absolutely unheard of in EVE. In fact, people were incredibly hostile to the idea of a pink skin, right? Any pink, oh my god, my immersion, I don't want to see these goofy skins, right? And the first crack in that armor, that no pink in Grimdark New Eden, happened with the Rosetta Dawn skin in 2016, 12 years after the game was first released, in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Day, or Breast Cancer Awareness. They sold these skins for, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, where 100% of the proceeds went to the Pink Ribbon campaign. And that's where all of these skins for these mining ships came from. They're still popular to this day because they're one of the only pink skins in the game. And then on top of that, there in 2018, there was the addition of, where is it? Oh, well, whatever. The Eros Blossom skins were added in 2018, and that added in more purple and such. So, and see, this is saying pink skins are rare. There's actually no pink skins available, which is technically not true because the Rada Sunset or whatever, or not Rada, but you know what I mean. The one we just looked at, Rosetta's Dawn. But, you know, what we've seen is, especially after 2021, we've seen a pretty big shift in CCP or in like the management of EVE Online. I like to think that we went from heavy metal to Blade Runner, right? Especially when it's like the Pulse, like this, it's all neons, right? Like this idea of like neon became a really big piece of the color palette of EVE Online around 2021, 2020, right? So it makes sense that finally, ding dong, the hatred for the pink is dead. It's almost ironic how much they show pink and purple as part of this event, or as part of this thing. It's almost like they realize that like that's the biggest thing, like that. Ironically, like pink skins have been kind of the totem for this stuff. So how long do you think it'll be before they are nagged into releasing cat ears? They're already being nagged into releasing cat ears. Yes, the Heart Surge skins are pinkish. And Heart Surge were first made available in 2020. So yeah, 2020 really, and this is actually a good example of that. This is where like we start to see CCP go from grimdark to, you know, neons and shiny, right? So Heart Surge is a good example of that. So is this is the same year, I think, that or within about the same time that the Halloween horror, the Malagan Marshlight skin comes out. So and I honestly, I think that this makes a lot of sense, right? I've always hated that, like, not my EVE argument, because like this is all about player like expression and your influence on the sandbox and your place in the sandbox. And so other people being like, no, I don't want this in my game, because like you're an immortal space pilot flying around in ships that are worth most nations' GDP, right? Like, of course certain people are going to take it completely. You're immortal. You've lost millions of ships. Your reverence for these things can be over, right? Like, there are tons of people that are more than desiring the ability to have something flagrantly absurd on their ship, because it's flagrantly absurd, right? People want ships, cat ears on their ship. Correct me if I'm wrong. Comment in below if whatever. But for the most part, the whole cat ears on your ship thing isn't because you want cat ears on your ships aesthetically. It's not like that's your favorite thing to have on a ship. It's the fact that you know that it bothers other people, and that makes you want it even more, right? That's a big piece of all of this. In the same way that a player can influence another player's game by suppressing their playstyle. Oh, I just want to go out and rat. I just want to go out and mine. Oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to suicide gank you, and now you can't mine, right? So in the same way, you know, you are able to kind of project your presence into the game, even if it is against the wishes of some of the other, the other people within the sandbox, within reason. And a big reason why people do these things is because they know the impact that they make on the other person. Now, you could call this sociopath in space or whatever you want. You know, there's a lot of negative stuff about that when it comes to Eve. But the point of the matter is that, like, player interaction is a big piece of this. You know, So in Bartle's taxonomy, you have explorers, achievers, socializers, and killers, right? And of the four, killers are about your impact on other people, right? So what's interesting about that, it's actually kind of a misnamed notion, right? It's this idea that the desire to influence another person, to project something onto another person. And this can be positive or negative. They're usually called killers because in MMOs, generally speaking, the way you do this is by ganking somebody or killing them or whatever, and disrupting their attempts. This is why killers often are in counter to achievers, because achievers are trying to do something, killers kill them, that frustrates the achiever, right? But I would argue that things like Logi is also a form of being a quote-unquote killer, because you're it is all about what you are doing to other people, right? As opposed to achievers, which are about what you are accomplishing and how your numbers are going up and how you compare to other people. Explorers being about what you're discovering, learning, and mastering, and socializers being interacting with other people. Killer, or at least that side of things, is about influencing other people. And I think that the idea of having a flagrantly absurd skin and shining it in everybody's face is absolutely consistent with that. So it's always bothered me that people were able to just confidently say EVE Online pink skins doesn't belong in EVE Online. Screw you. Why do you get to say what belongs in EVE Online or not, right? Like, we all contribute to EVE Online. If I want pink skins in the game, and I'm willing to put in the plex and the effort in order to get those pink skins in the game, by God, I can put pink skins in the game, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that is what EVE is, and I appreciate it. All right, rant off. One thing I am concerned about, though, honestly, one of the things I am kind of concerned about when it comes to this, like, this one looks really clean. Let's be frank. Like, this... Like, you may not like the look of it, this Barbie-style Talos, but, like, it's a very clean design. It looks good, right? This, and like, not necessarily that one, but, this one do it? No. Like, the one they show at the very beginning here, like, that's just kind of a muddled mess, isn't it? I wonder how many of these things are just going to become this, like, almost polka dotted or, like, blah, like, mess of two colors smashed together. That I'm not very happy about. I would really like more, like, cleaner patterns to be used. Time to penis. Time to penis is, like, negative time. In fact, I could argue that this is falling under that. But yeah, like, this doesn't look that great, right? Like, it looks kind of low resolution. I don't know, man. I really hope that we're going to have a lot better options than just this. But you know, things like this looks clean as hell. I am very excited for what people are going to do with the Barghast. And then here you can see, like, there's the stripes here. And they don't show it here, but, like, as we saw in the Pulse video, you know, you can also move the pattern. So you'd be able to move the stripes down and up and whatnot. But, yeah, I don't know. I hope that we're going to be able to get some really good stuff and not just a whole bunch of, you know, like... I don't want design elements for the sake of design elements. Right? Wasn't there a thing that showed different patterns? Was there one that showed a different patterns that were available? I saw something. I could have sworn. Hold on. But yeah, actually, so, like, look at this, man. Like, all of these. Maybe this is just CCP. Like, what does that even look like? Right? Like, that's kind of a mess, is it? Now, granted, somebody decided to do gold and yellow on yellow, which is... whatever. But here we see that there's, like, stripes, there's the camo, there's a different camo, there's the checkerboard, there's the, like, swoop, like a chevron, there's a Fresnel or shading or something. But, like, look at this, the third row, the second one down, and the first and the second one, like, are those actually different? Like, functionally speaking? Oh, god damn it. I wouldn't say so. I don't think that I could tell the difference between... Wait, hold on. Wait, what? This shows the mottled effect, even though it's showing stripes. That's really weird. But yeah, I hope that we have options for, like, big, noticeable, clean designs, not this, like, mottled muddiness. Middle second down we'll do fish scales. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like the chevron one? Could be. Very well could be. They all look like tie-dye shirts. Yeah. I don't necessarily like that part, right? But we're definitely going to see a lot more brighter colors in Eve. That's for sure. That's for dang sure. The other thing is, I wonder how it's going to interact with the actual original pattern of the skin, right? Like, let me hold on a second. If we go here and we look up, like, the Meku ball, right? So here's my issue. See that modeling right there? Actually, let's look at it from this side. Yeah. Oh no, I don't like this at all. Ready? So you see this little blob right here? How it goes, like, left and then right. Am I even showing my cursor? Yes, I am. It goes left, then right, then this big blob down. It almost looks like North America and a little bit of South America, right? In this specific pattern right here. All right. Well, if we go back to the browser, we can see right here on this guy, we see that exact same spot. So this spotting isn't the pattern. This spotting is actually the original, like, the pattern shows through in the coloration. They didn't add a pattern, they just changed it to being red and white instead of tan and brown, right? So that's one piece to it. But if we look at this, right, if I, like, Capsuleer Day, okay, that one doesn't do it. That's good. Arc Combiner Risen doesn't do that. Maybe, oh yeah. In the Empyrean Outlaw one, you can still see the pattern in the background, right? In a lot of skins, the original polka dot, or the original like pattern, if a ship has a pattern, it still like bleeds through. And I wonder how much that's going to influence the thing. Because there is 4 colors, right? But like, yeah, you can even see it here. They tried to kind of hide it or whatever, but like there's this teal-ish color. It might be hard to see on the video. And then there's the bluish color where you can still see the original pattern on the ship. Yeah, there's another good example. This is actually a really good example of the kind of skin that we would make, right? It's just a couple of reskins and then like this, or recolors and then like something on the tip of the arms. So, yeah, it'll be, but this one doesn't have the pattern. So it'll be weird to see. It'll be interesting to see whether or not you can choose whether or not to show the patterns or not. Right now, I'm on Tranquility right now. This is all just the current stuff. What? Hold on. But yeah. Okay. If you want to, if you can DM me on Discord, then I can pull it up. It is a great ship. But yeah. So things that have its own pattern, right? Like this Heart Surge has a pattern. The Empyrean Outlaw does not. But Angel Hex mostly does. And yeah, there are patterns that can smooth it out. Like you can override the pattern with some skins. But if you don't, then the modeling remains. But yeah. And I don't know, but that might be all we can get out of this for now until tomorrow or Thursday. So we did learn some. We definitely got to look at the options. Now, the relationship with Plex and SKINR binders is going to be a big one. Whether or not binding a skin will allow you to make multiple copies of it, or if you have to pay the Plex every single time. If I get a limited design element and it can only be used 10 times, does that mean I can only make 10 skin licenses total? Because then I won't be able to use that license, that design element for like my corporation or whatever, and that would be unfortunate. So, or is it that once I've sequenced it, I can print it out? You know, that's going to be a big piece to this, in my opinion. Because if every single person has to pay 110 Plex in order to get our fleet skin, I don't think those fleet skins are going to be nearly as popular, right? Like, it's weird. It's like, oh, yeah, MPSI, here's your uniform. Oh, yeah, you have to buy it, right? Like, that, I don't like it. But, yeah. And then, of course, finally, will there be good ways of filtering through your skin collection? Because, some of us have a few. Yeah, here there's only 6 things shown. I don't see a filter button. Wait, hold on. Is that... Oh, there. Yeah, there's a sort and a filter at the top right. There you go. Okay. That's good. So what's your guys' thoughts, man? Is this everything you ever wanted in a SKINR system? Are you going to take advantage of it? Are you going to grab the new skills and become a SKINR master? Or are you going to just wait for other people to come up with something cool? Or do you just not care about skins altogether? The Convocation of Empyreans will continue to, you know, like, one of the things that I really want to do is start going after these things. You know, if there are tasks and rewards and events that go after these, then, you know, getting these is a fun thing to get involved with. And if you want to get involved with the Convocation Empyreans, you can on the Discord, or if you just want to hop into the Discord and check out what we got going on and ask questions, everybody is welcome. We've got public channels and everything. And of course, if you are relatively new to EVE or returning to EVE and you have not gotten your million free SP, make sure to get your million free SP by using the link down below or in the chat. It does support the stream. Just join us. One of us. Yeah. Eventually, there'll be things for corps and alliances. Yeah, you'll be able to share a pattern that you're working on, like before it's been sequenced. But that still doesn't like answer those key questions about how those are going to be, like, how exactly are we going to mass produce them? I understand that if I have a skill that allows you to bulk do it, does that do multiple at the same time, or is that one after the other? Right? Can I queue up it to sequence it 10 times? Because if you look here, this says time to sequence. If you look where I'm not showing you, if you look here, it says time to sequence 4 days for this one. Okay, it's 130 plex, 4 days. This one is 110 plex for 2 days, 19 hours and 20 minutes. And it does say skin amount. Okay, hold on. Okay, so yeah, it does say skin amount 1, which implies that, like, you have to pay it for every skin you want to produce of that type. Which that's going to be a little much, probably. But remember, you only have to pay for it if you're going to be using one time or like infinite use stuff. So what'll probably happen is there'll be a thing that gives you 10 times usage, right? You can use this color 10 times. Yeah, you can find sequencers in loot. And also they've shown, remember, in the Pulse, they show that there is a new Air monthly career path. And we see that there's a SKINR component and a SKINR sequencer in the path. So that way an alpha track gets a sequencer and an omega track gets a sequencer and a component, right? So, you know, there will be ways of getting it, but like, that's the thing. So, okay, let's say I get omega red, right? And I want to make my ship with omega red, but the omega red license is only 10. Well, maybe the omega red license drops in Dens. I'm just making something up off the top of my head, right? Dens and HiSec have a chance of dropping this SKINR component, right? So now I can farm those up, and every one of them I farm allows me to make 10 copies of that skin, and it doesn't cost anything more because I have the limited use skin. If the skin was an infinite use, then I would have to pay Plex or binders every single time I want to turn it into a skin. That's what it appears that they're doing. Hey, look at that video down there. That's a cool video. I'm just glad they're figuring out more ways to fund the game. Actually, well, the funding on EVE is actually pretty solid, but what's interesting about this is that a lot of this isn't, well, like, there is Plex in publishing, but like, one of the things that's cool is that they haven't really talked about like components or any of that sort of stuff being in like Plex store or whatever, right? A lot of this stuff is designed to get people to go out there and do stuff, which is, in a lot of ways, oddly enough, getting people to go out there and do stuff is almost as important to CCP as you paying for something, because the game is worth more the more people that are out there and doing stuff. And so the people find more value in it, and people do spend more money as long as there's more things to do, right? Yeah, I'm sure that Estimel drops a dark metallic orange color that can be sequenced 4 times. I sequenced 4 skins, consuming all my giga drop. The 4 skins I make are permanent to the buyer, and they don't need to buy any additional materials or anything besides the skin. Perfect example. Thank you, Satonia. Okay, so let's say I kill an officer rat and I get this awesome orange metallic color, right? I can use that in a skin, and that does not require any additional resources to do so. However, if I add other colors and other elements to that thing, then those will cost, right? So, clearly Omega Red drops from Russian mutants. It's true. So yeah, 4 copies of that skin, and that's actually a really cool thing because that means that any skin that uses that color is inherently extraordinarily rare, right? Because it can only be gotten by dropping an officer, and even then you only get to build 4 copies total. So that red, or that orange rather, is going to be a very rare color, right? And so you could actually create a skin that is not designed to be pretty, but it's just designed to show exactly how elitist you are, because it has 4 different colors and a pattern that are all like stupidly rare, right? Like, oh yeah, I have this skin that you could only get from this event 2 years ago, and this binder that, or this other element that can only be gotten by killing officer rats, blah blah blah. Will PvP drop SKINR stuff if they're actively using it? Oh, that's actually kind of cool too. Killing a person to get their skin. I doubt it, seriously, but lore-wise, there is a real-life electromagnetically sensitive material. It doesn't even need to be consumable skin, just the electromagnetic frequency tuner for setting that color. Correct, Seventh Heaven. The licensing is 100% like arbitrary. Your ship is capable of kind of replicating different colors with your supercurrent-induced nanocoating, but the licenses to use it is what's pieced to it. Now, how that actually works, where you need to wear ugly gear to get the best stats? Yeah, exactly. Like, that skin's hideous. Yeah, but do you know how much I paid for it? Color changing auto pay. I do. I really, really, really want opalescent paint too in Eve. I really like that idea, and in fact I think that's kind of what's going on with this skin. That's the metallic part, right? Like, it has a base color of purple, but like depending on the angle you see it, it's like more blue. And then actually, hold on, we can see this. So the purple's the base part, and then there's little details that are blue. And then the stripes are teal. And the other details are black. So those 4 colors. There are blue components. And I don't know what this metallic piece is. Maybe that's... It seems to show that this is the result, but I think that's just the kind of metallic that it produces, maybe? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. Now I want a sequencer that, like, changes the ship skin based on how much damage I've taken. Or my current DPS is. Shame all those ships are small and barely visible. What are you talking about? I like to keep my... I bring my camera zoomed in a lot, honestly. And it's not just aesthetic. I get to see, like, if you are looking at your ship, you can see visually how many people are hitting you, how many people are shooting you, what's shooting at you. You know, there's a lot of information you can get just by visually looking at things in space. Real life, there's a reflex blue, spice, purple, white. There's also a legit color-changing electromagnetically sensitive paint. Yeah. Yes, there is, like, literally, you pass an electric current through it and it changes color. That is very cool. And that's basically what we have in Eve. Yeah. All right. Well, we got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and chill out and talk and hang out. And maybe I'll do a little bit of... Zoom in to see how screwed you are. Hey, man, look. I do, like, missions and mining and other things like that. There's a lot of things that are slowed down. Okay. Let's be frank. I'm gonna hot take, okay? Whatever. Hey, Tranquilla Mare, thank you for the 5 gifted memberships on behalf of Setonia, Justin Heverly, Mark Hoffer, ICA Bronco, And ouch! Thank you, Tranquilla, and also for myself, of course, and everybody who enjoys my streams. Your support is very much appreciated. But where were we? Yeah, so let's be frank. There is a lot of Eve. It doesn't matter. PvP, PvE, whatever. There is a lot of time in Eve spent sitting around doing nothing. Doesn't matter if it's gate camping, mining, ratting. I mean, like, not nothing. Not nothing. I'm not saying nothing. I'm saying, like, low active inputs, low demand for attention beyond just being prepared if something changes, right? Like, whatever. So, yeah, there's a lot of opportunities for you to be able to go and check out your skins and other people's skins, etc., etc. Low APM, exactly. Like, there are plenty of opportunities to zoom in and look at your ship and be like, ooh, pretty. So anybody who's like, nobody cares about ships because everybody's zoomed out. Not every moment that you're playing the game is in a giant nullsec fight. And if it is, maybe you should try the real game. Because that's just one tiny aspect of the game. Okay? If the only time you ever see the game is like way zoomed out and there's a big fight, there are other things to do in this game that can also be exciting and fun. I'd rather this happening in combat. Well, yeah, I mean, like, it happens in combat too, but I mean, like, you're not going to be sitting there and, like, admiring your skin quite as much when you're doing that. I do. So, okay. You ready for the big demand? Here's my problem. Here's my biggest problem. This only makes the problem worse. CCP needs to redo kill mails. Kill mails need to reflect the ship state at the time of its destruction. A kill mail should, at the minimum, record how many kill marks that ship had at the time and what skin was applied to that ship at the time. That should be stored in every kill mail, in my opinion. They should make that happen. Because I think it's a cool idea. Like, even if, imagine, like, there will be totally a thing where you kill somebody and then you go and look at their kill mail and you realize, holy crap, that guy had this awesome skin on, right? Like, you may not notice that my Nurgle has a Casino Clash skin while you're fighting me, but you'll notice it if it's on the kill mail. You can already look at, like, if I look at the ship of a person, I can see what skin they're wearing, right? I can see that this ship has the Intaki Syndicate skin on it. Oh, shit. I can see that this ship has the Intaki Syndicate skin on it, right? I just did a show info on a random person in space. What is the Casino Clash skin? The best skin in the game. Kill mails need to show what skin you have on and how many kill marks you have. Because the legacy of a ship is not set in stone until it's dead. How many ships, like, it sucks, the idea of, like, you know, how many times have you gotten a bunch of kill mails and then immediately died and you're like, oh. Yeah, no, this thing is sick, okay? This thing is so sick. It lights up, like, the white lights up. Oh, man, I need to, show me, remind me later. I'll show you this thing on Ash. But the lights turn red when you're shooting. When it warps, there's extra track lights that light up. It's very cool. But yeah. Yeah. So that's all that. And I guess I don't think I'm going to break this off into its own segment. So I think that we can just wrap it up there. Thank you guys for, if anybody has any comments about it or ideas, any, what skin ideas are you going to go for? I know that people have been saying matte black and some other ideas. I'm really looking forward to what people are looking to do with it. Here's my question. Here's my question for the stream. Okay, I want everybody to answer this in the comments. If you're watching this live, come back later and then answer it in the comments when you can. But here's my question, okay? Will you, as a player, go out and do something to acquire a SKINR element, right? Is that something that you think will motivate you? If there's a correct SKINR scheme, either a color or a pattern or a thing, to do a thing, will that be the reason to go do that thing, right? Maybe if you join faction warfare for the course of a specific insurgency, would that be enough to be like, I'm going to go try a different play style for a couple of days in order to earn this thing? You know, a lot of people with events, right? You work through the events in order to earn a skin. Is this going to motivate you personally to go out and do something in order to acquire these pieces for skins? That's my question. All right. All right. Do we want to do more Kado Ash, or should we wrap it up for the day? We can do a little bit more Sisters of Eve. You do it at least once? Is this Federation Navy installation new? Or has this Federation Navy installation always been here? Hold on. This is new. This is one of the new ones. Yeah, of course it's one of the new ones. Why did the Federation Navy put one of their Navy outposts right next to the SOE Epic Arc? This feels very propagandistic. Anyway. I know I, for one, will. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'll probably do it even if I don't care about the thing, just because I'm a collector and hoarder when it comes to these sorts of things. I definitely fall into the achiever side of the coin a lot of the time.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
All right. Oh, I didn't read it. I didn't read it. God damn it. Can I... Wait. What? Track. View details. We've gone a long way, but we found the key survivor. Her name is Tahaki Karen. She was an engineer on the main ship for the ruined fleet. She may be the only one who knows what really happened. You know the drill by now. Get out there and get her before someone else. So yeah, this is what the SOE Epic Arc so far has been. Basically, there was a ship that was destroyed. We tried to go and rescue some people from it. It was there's a lot of mystery behind it, and we've been chasing after crew members that managed to get away, but they were all kind of scattered to the winds, and it's been hard to track them down. So we're going after the next crew member. I wonder what they're going to give away for the 7 days. They'll probably give away stuff that, like, you won't be able to get later. Maybe. I don't know. I want some rare skip. I want some, you know, only then elements. Get me out of here. This thing might explode any second now. And she's... Oh, yeah, there's also rogue drones involved in all of this. Ooh. The heartbreak. See? You don't play like this? Why? What? Oh. Okay, yeah, never mind. I do not like my general tab looking like this. That's at least better. No, I don't have to kill these guys. Yes, I'm doing it anyways.
Warp drive active.
Kill the prop. Control R reloads.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Oh. Also, we can swap to this one so that way we can see Peld. Also, need to actually make Peld work. Excellent. Karen is going to be transported to a more secure Sisters of Eve location for a full debriefing with our people. Don't worry, we'll keep Concord well informed of our progress. Remember the strange data core you found? We've determined that it has been made by a rogue drone of some kind. I'm sending you to Galente Space where I've contacted someone who can help you continue this investigation. Her name is Delphine Zarzayer? Whatever. An agent for Creo Drone and the daughter of their chief researcher. We've tapped out our other leads for now, which leaves us in need of more information on drones, and she can certainly give you that. All right, let's go talk to the drone specialist.
Warp drive active.
This is why I call the SOE Epic Arc the tour of the empires. She kind of sends you to each one of them in turn. So, given that these came out with... Didn't these release with Apocrypha? I can't remember. We talked about it last time, because like these the rogue drones... I assume this is after Drone Lands. Oh, I have 0 emblems. How much Evermarks do I have? 4,000. What's weird is that they never actually suggested in the dev blog anything about Evermarks. That's one thing I actually noted. There's nothing about buying things for Evermarks, even though there is the Paragon store. But that's like a new UI. So it sounds to me like most of it's ISK and Plex. but maybe certain elements get spot with Evermarks. It would just be extremely odd for them to keep Evermarks as just being for logos. Maybe Evermarks will be continue to be used for effects that get applied on top of the skin, like the logos. But man, do we need... Like, the community really needs another example of things that Evermarks will be used for, because, like, it's very difficult to justify or explain why Evermarks are worth anything at the moment. Well, like, they give out Evermarks for things, and every single time that... No, that's what I'm saying. Every time they give out Evermarks, people are like, Evermarks are dumb, or like, when Evermarks are a reward for something, they're like, Evermarks are useless, and like, that's partially because they're only used for this one thing, and that's all that they've been used for. And so, what I'm asking for is for them to come out with at least one more example to, like, ignite the mind for what else could be from these Evermarks, right? Maybe add a couple of extra cloud effects. Who knows? Like the cloud effects on the Capsuleer Day skins. Just make it so we could like add a cloud on top of the front of our ship, like in the lights, and like customize the color of it or something. Get a blue one or a red one or whatever, right? Like that would just make people be like, oh, Evermarks are going to be used for something, not just logos. And it's weird because, like, the normal Skinner system, the structure Skinner system uses Evermarks, but there's no Evermarks in the UI for the ship Skinner. Yeah, all of the colors were associated with, like, Plex, if nothing else. But we also didn't look at the store, right? They were saying that you can buy design elements in the Paragon store. And I don't know if that means from other players only, or if there will be, like, here is your default set, and then there's a certain set that can then be purchased, and then there's others that can be acquired other ways, right? Once again, I'm here before you today to ask for clouds. And I really think that this is a big piece of what they were testing on the test server the other day. Because it really looks like, you know, these old skins are being done in, like, are being managed by the same system. And so they could test their new Skinner system by us playing with old skins on Sissy. There's a new Eden News? All right, let's do this. I'm gonna dock. We got one more jump and then I'll dock, and then we'll do the new Eden News, and then we'll probably wrap it up for the day. How long is it? It's not that long. 10 points to Gryffindor, and by that I mean Tranquilla Mare. Remind me later, I'll give you a Master Arms Cerebral Accelerator. Speaking of which, if you want to get a Master Arms Cerebral Accelerator, all you got to do is send me the timestamps on any of my videos, and if I end up using that, I'll send you a Master Arms Cerebral Accelerator. Don't forget to like the stream. Thank you, Ivarazu-chan. What's it about? It's about the new Skinner system. Well, it's about the Paragon Hub, which is that UI that I was just talking about. The new market. We're gonna dock up. Actually, let's not dock up. 'Cause I don't like the background music when I'm reading. Or not the background music, but the background, like, chatter. All right. Let's see. It is 1 hour and 42 minutes into the stream. That's just because I like to break these out on their own often. All right. How's that look? Yeah, fine. Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtrathi, the voice of New Eden, and this is your New Eden news for May 21st, YC126. Paragon Hub announced following SEC ruling. The SEC has ruled that the NES commissary contract is an antitrust violation. The exclusivity clause of their contract with the SOCT will be revoked effective immediately. The ruling follows an extensive legal campaign by Evermore, whose subsidiary Paragon has rushed to secure its own non-exclusive commissary contract. Iris, Paragon's cybernetic liaison, has announced that they will be using the contract to launch a new store, the Paragon Hub. The Paragon Hub is New Eden's first ever Plex exchange to allow Capsuleers to trade directly with one another, Iris told members of the press at Paragon Station in Orifay. The hub is just one feature of our suite and SKINR innovations that put the power squarely where it belongs, in your hands. The Paragon Hub will be launched as part of a new updated SKINR, supercur-induced nanocoding resequencer platform next month. Unlike its predecessor, which allowed Capsuleers to design nanocoding finishes for Upwell structures, the new SKINR will focus on ship skins and will include a wide array of improvements, including the ability to sequence designs into tradable skin licenses. The New Eden store has issued an official statement confirming that it is appealing the SEC decision. Given the complexity of the issue, legal experts have advised the scope that this appeal has little chance of success and is likely to take years. Individual members of the board have declined to comment, including the previously vocal Ganochar Asabona, who is unable to comment due to an ongoing legal battle between Evermore president Alexander Tukas. News in brief. Reports of normalizing energy signatures in the Abyss as Capsuleers keep a lid on Drifter Triglavian conflict. Tribal Council still in session over Upwell controversy. And Ashes of Turner declared a global terrorist threat by Concord following an attack on Caldari state facilities. So this is a very, a simple, kind of a shorter New Eden news. This is setting up the Paragon Hub, which is the new UI that is going to be added to allow you to buy and sell skins and skin components from other players. You'll be able to use Plex in order... You can basically request Plex or ISK, whichever currency you wish, when you're doing this. And, the Ganochar Asabona is the guy from the Khanid Kingdom who is... Khanid Works, I think it was, who was connected to the NES and talked crap about Alexander Ducasse, and then Alexander has now been suing him. So if we go back and look at the previous New Eden news, we can see yeah, hold on. Yeah, only the meanwhile, the Amar Royal houses... No, wait. This is not it. This is the Upwell thing. So much has happened recently. There is a whole thing. Hold on. There it is. Found it. Yeah. So on March 20th, we saw Evermore accuse NES of monopoly, and we see Ganothar Asabona accused Evermore President Alexander Dukas of petty bullying tactics when speaking to reporters, using their Cremo lackey to spy on NAS board members and bolster their fraudulent claims. So, the Khanid are always good at, talking mad smack. But in this case, Alexander Dukas has informed the scope that he's taking legal advice on a possible defamation lawsuit against Asabona. So then a little bit later, we see Asabona, CEO of Khanid Innovations, elect to self-represent in Evermore's defamation lawsuit. So that's what they're referring to there with... where were we? In today's news. The tribal council still in session over upload controversy. We knew that was happening. And this Ashes of Turner development is really interesting. So they introduced 4 new factions, kind of terrorist factions, as part of the home fronts, right? We have the Galente Primacy. The Caldari have... Oh, gosh. I actually don't remember what the Caldari one is. The Amar one is... Man, maybe I shouldn't be trying to remember all these things off the top of my head. The bottom line is that the Mimitar one was the Ashes of Turner. The Turner star system was, of course, the one that was blown up, the star went boom. Didn't die, just went pulse. Because of a stellar transmuter destabilizing it. And the population of Turner 1 was destroyed, presumably completely killed. And so the Ashes of Turner is this faction within the Mimitar that kind of feel that the empires have failed them in a pretty active way and are proceeding to do a lot of terrorist activity. Now, what's interesting is that the reason why these guys have stayed relevant while the other groups have not is that the Ashes of Turner have exported their terrorism. And so a lot of it has actually been in the Caldari state recently. There's been arrests in the Caldari state, and Concord issued the concern about Ashes of Turner operating outside of Mimitar space. So here we have the Concord calling them a global terror, which shouldn't it be a cluster-wide terrorist, not global? Anyway, global terrorist threat following an attack on Caldari state facilities. So Ashes of Turner. Now, a big thing about this is that there's a lot of bleed through between the Caldari and the Mimitar, especially now between both the Deathless Circle and the new allegiances between the Caldari and the Mimitar. There's a lot of extra trade and travel and communication between the Caldari state and the Mimitar Republic. So that's likely a big vector point for this attack. But as of right now, where this is going to lead, I have no clue. I don't know why they're continuing to make Ashes of Turner relevant, but it seems like they're going to become more of a global entity. This also brings up the idea that I'm still not 100% convinced that the people in Turner are dead. There's a reasonably good chance that they were rescued at the last second by Triglavians, although that is a pretty fringe belief at this point. Are we still doing the shared event material project? I finished the event track. Yes. Yeah, you can contract anything extra you want to Ashrathi, although we have so much at this point, it's not 100% necessary. We do have a alliance-wide project to turn in, or a corp project rather, to turn in the red loot that you get, and we're buying it for 100,000, which is the normal amount. But for the entangled bits, you can send that to us. Sorry. But otherwise, pretty simple news article. This is definitely setting things up. We're going to have to keep an eye out for later. If you want to know the later once it comes out, and stay tuned and keep track of this story, you should be able to like the channel, join us on Discord, and reach out and say hi to me if you want. But all that said, this has been the New Eden News for May 21st, YC126. Ivan Ashrathi, the voice of New Eden. Until next time, I'll see you in space. All right. Cool. We'll see about getting that edited out. I'm at about a 20% success rate on successfully editing out stuff and putting them on the YouTube. Once again, if you want to help with the production, I've got Master Arm Cerebral Accelerators. Yeah. So, thoughts, comments, concerns before we wrap up the show? Anything. Anybody think it's on purpose that they made the Edencom ship look like those like 90s cups? I don't think that's a coincidence. Ashtarothi is the right one, correct. I've just been collecting it all there. One thing to pay attention to on all of this is that, like, the different politicians have come out differently about Upwell's program, and while this news kind of just taps on that, that is a big... I think that that's going to be a big piece of the upcoming expansion, is how the different empires react to the rolling out of Upwell's facilities, especially since none of the new Upwell facilities really interact with Empire established stuff, like a whole separate power structure. Which, speaking of which, I want to do a whole episode on Upwell now that we've done like Mordu and Ore and all that kind of stuff. But like, Upwell has become an incredibly powerful player, right? Like, in a lot of ways, you know, like with the Microsoft merger with Blizzard, they're like, well, suddenly Microsoft is like the leading MMO manufacturer, the leading mobile game manufacturer, and all these sorts of things just by acquiring this stuff. In the same way, like Paragon, or not Paragon, but Upwell now controls like the largest, most ubiquitously used mining equipment in the cluster. The structures, crew, and equipment that every capsuleer uses to control sovereignty and elsewhere and live in. A mercenary, the largest, most effective, and well-respected mercenary organization in the entire cluster. And, you know, their whole cloning project that they're working on. Like, Upwell is an empire in their own right at this point, and I'm sure that nothing bad will happen. But, again, in order to find out, you're going to have to follow the stream, or follow the my YouTube, and we'll keep an eye on... Yeah, Iris is also totally not sus. But Iris is not Upwell. Iris is Paragon. Upwell is separate from Paragon. But make sure to like the stream if you've learned something today or enjoyed it all. Comment below with any of the questions that I've asked earlier. Are you going to use this? Are you going to hunt after SKINR license pieces? And what kind of designs are you going to come up with? And I should see you on Thursday, where we will be going over all of the additional details that we'll learn during the stream. Oh, speaking of streams, make sure to be watching Twitch right now. The drops are for the Coercer Navy issue, police skin. It's pretty cool. And then there's a mystery crate after that. You want to stay caught up on those because you have to burn through the original one before you get to the next one. So if you go there and you're earning Evermarks, you may have to finish that before you go on to the Coercer Navy issue. But yeah, every few days they've been putting on a thing on Twitch. So that way it's like 4 hours of watching a stream. You know, it's got to be the main tab. You can't like tab to a different tab. But as long as it's up, then it counts. And then after 4 hours, you get your items. Let's see. Anything else? This weekend's Vanguard, guys. So can't wait. Last Vanguard before the big changeover. And then, of course, we have, we got 3 weeks, I think, until the expansion. So very, very excited. I've been Ashtarothi. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even into context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys so much for coming, hanging out, watching the stream, contributing. The gifted subs are really cool. I appreciate Tranquilla Mare and who was the mad lad that gifted subs to other people? And Bread, I think it was. Yeah, Bread. And there was one, I think there was at least one other person, but now my thing won't scroll back far enough. Hey man, Solstice, it's all good. Don't ever be sorry for chatting a lot. That's good stuff. I appreciate it. For some reason, I thought Paragon and Upwell were connected all this time. No, actually, they're likely to become rivals in a lot of ways in the long run. So Air, Upwell, and Paragon are all three separate entities. Those are like the three big multinational or conglomerates, as it were. But thank you all for coming. Until next time, I've been Ashrothi, the voice of New Eden, and I'll see you in space. Buy merch!
Bring on the wrecking machine. For every city